wondering if this kid is yours or the guy.
Yeah, so crazier part about it, in the time that me and her broke up, I actually met this other girl, and she kind of hit me with the news that she was pregnant while I've been with this other girl.
Dude, are you? I was literally about to say, please don't tell me you got this girl pregnant too. Yo.
Hello?
What's up?
Is this Lyle?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Holdy. What's up, man?
This is Holden?
Holdy.
Holy?
Holdy.
H-O-O. Holdy. What's up, Holdy?
Yeah. What's up, man?
Now is Holdy's a fake name? I don't really care. Holdy, what's going on with you? How's life?
It's pretty good, man. I was not expecting you to call.
Well, here I am.
I was watching the stream earlier. How's your night going, man?
It's going all right, but hey, who gives a fuck about me, Holdy? What's going on? How can I get you today?
Oh yeah, dude. I think I texted you earlier about my issue that I got going on. So I mean, we can talk about that, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Tell me the issue.
Yeah, so basically back in January, I figured out that my girlfriend at the time, long story short, we just had a baby, and it was his birthday coming up, and right around that time I started figuring out that she was cheating on me, and come to find out, I figured everything out the night before his birthday party. And yeah, so I figured out she cheated on me, and then we broke up, and then yeah, so like a month later she says that she's pregnant, and I'm like, okay, well, it's gotta be the guy that she cheated on me with, you know. And I was like not, I was even doubting that she was even pregnant, you know what I mean? So I don't know. And then yeah, we did a DNA test, and yeah, basically we're waiting the results right now. So it's kind of a crazy situation, I guess.
All right, so you and this woman have a kid together, and
Correct.
You found out she was cheating on you a year after the kid was born, and then you found out she was pregnant with another kid, and now you're wondering if this second kid is yours or the guy.
Yeah, man, it's like a tough situation. And the crazier part about it is, in the time that me and her broke up, I actually met this other girl, and like she kind of hit me with the news that she was pregnant while I've been with this other girl. So that's kind of complicated our relationship.
Dude, I was literally about to say, please don't tell me you got this girl pregnant too.
No. This girl's not pregnant, so.
Oh, she's not? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, you confused me there for a second, because I thought you broke up with this girl that was cheating on you, and then you started dating a new girl, and now that girl is pregnant.
No. That girl's not. I was just bringing her up.
Okay, you can only handle so many pregnancies at once.
Right. I wouldn't want to take on more than one.
All right. So, all right. So you're dating a new girl now after this. You found out the other one was cheating on you.
Correct.
Okay, and now you're wondering if this kid, who your ex-wife, girlfriend?
Girlfriend, yeah, girlfriend.
All right, and now you're wondering if this kid who your ex-girlfriend has is your kid or not.
Right, yeah. It's like a
when
whole...
When do you get the results of the DNA test?
It should be soon. Like, I'm not exactly sure when, but it should be within the next couple months. Like, it's like this whole process, like, because she's not even, I don't even know if she's that far along yet. Like, it's like this whole thing, so I don't even know, man.
Well, I have two questions. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if it is your kid, and what are you gonna do if it's not?
Well, obviously, if it is my kid, I'm gonna take care of it like our other kid that we have. But it's just gonna be a complicated situation between me and her, because like she cheated on me and everything. But then if it's not my kid, dude, I don't even know. That's the part where I'm like, I don't even know how to handle the whole situation.
Well, I mean, shit, if it's not your kid, then...
I mean, I guess
know.
just move on, right?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you already share custody of one with the... Do you guys have, like, a whole, like, agreement? Was it an issue when you broke up with this girl? Was it an issue fighting for custody?
So yeah, we haven't even had any issues with that at all. So like, we didn't go to court or anything like that, because we were just like dating basically for the whole time we were together, and we had the kid. And yeah, I mean, we see him like 3-4 days a week, something like that. So
That's
like
nice,
each,
man.
so not too bad. But yeah, I don't know. It's just the whole situation, I guess, is just like, I didn't even see it coming, obviously, but it's just crazy to me.
I mean, how do you feel about the whole thing? Because that's rough, but I mean, just from talking to you and you're hearing your tone of voice, you seem like you're... I'm not over it, but like, you know, handling it well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the whole breakup situation happened back in January, and then I didn't figure out she was pregnant until like a few months later. So yeah, I mean, it's like she's supposed to have the baby soon. I'm not exactly sure the exact due date and everything, but yeah, between that time I'm supposed to figure out if it's mine or not, and that's the stressful part.
Was it tough when you first became a father? Because you're young. It says here that you're 24.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had him at 22, I guess, or 23, 22, because he's about to be 2.
Was that hard?
Yeah. I mean, we had an apartment at the time, and then right before he was born, we kind of moved back into my mom's house. We were saving up money to move into a house, and then yeah, she cheated on me, so I'm kind of stuck at my mom's house right now because housing market's pretty bad also, so that's another thing.
You guys didn't combine your finances, did you?
Luckily no, because we weren't married, so I kind of kept that separate.
Good.
Yeah, I'm having a joint account and dealing with all that, so.
How are things going with the new girl?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I feel like we have a good relationship, but it's nothing like serious, you know what I mean? Because she knows about my kid right now, and then she found out that I could potentially be having another kid, so it kind of complicated the whole relationship. So that's another thing that I'm kind of dealing with. So I don't even know if this relationship itself is gonna last, but I'm hoping for the best.
Bro, what's up with you? You're like, look, here's the thing. If I were in your situation, I mean, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I would crack. And you're over here, you seem, you know, like you're full of sunshine. What's up? How are you so... What chemicals are in your brain right now?
Well, I'll be honest, I have been smoking a little tonight, but I usually just keep a positive mind about everything, like as much as I can. But I don't know. I also have, like, you know, bad days just like everybody else. But
sure,
I don't know, man. I feel like even just talking to you about it just kind of, I don't know, brought out the good vibes of the whole situation, because you can think of it in a bad way and a good way also. But I don't know. I try to find the good in everything.
How do you stay positive, just in general?
A lot of weed, I'll say that. But also, just like in any situation, I would say just trying to find the good in it no matter what, because when it comes down to it, if you get mad at the little things, it's just gonna irritate you and take up your time when you could have just focused on the good things about a bad situation and moved on from it. You know what I mean? You just stay on the bad things, it stays in your head, and it's just toxic. So I try to keep try to keep a level head and think positive, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. What? Tell me about your life outside of this, if you have a second. What do you have a job? Do you have hobbies? What do you do when you're not in an episode of Jerry Springer?
Yeah, man. I deliver for Amazon right now, and I actually listen to a lot of you while I'm fucking delivering. But yeah, I mean, hobbies. I go to a lot of concerts. I don't know. I go thrifting a lot. That's fun.
Do you and your kid do anything together? Do you guys do you take a stroller through the park or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I live kind of in the woods, so like we be doing nature walks here and there. And I take him to like the river and stuff, and just like parks and whatnot. It's pretty fun, but yeah, I take him to the mall sometimes too. He just learned to walk, so he's been walking around little stores and stuff.
You know,
getting everybody.
How is it? How was it like that first year with your ex? Like, is it harder now that you're sort of like doing it on your own?
So yeah, I mean, I do live with, like I said, I live with my mom, so I do have a little bit of help from her. But I will say, yeah, it definitely was a big change, because before we were kind of both like, you know, co-parenting like you're supposed to. But I don't know, now like whenever I just have him just me, like I had to learn like a lot of different things that like I didn't do before that she did. You know what I mean? It's just like I feel like I've started to get the hang of it, but because he's so young. But like, yeah, man, it definitely was a challenge because, like I said, I live with my parents and I'm pretty young, and I'm saving up to get a house and everything too. So it's just all around a big struggle, but I'm trying.
What's your dream in life?
Dream in life? I don't know if I've ever been asked that, but I guess just to like own a business and be like financially free and just be able to buy whatever I want and not worry about money and just live free, I guess. That's a dream.
What kind of business would you want to run?
Something that I enjoy doing, but that's the problem, that I don't know what it would be exactly. Like, your job is pretty cool. Wish I could do something like that, but I don't know. I guess I just got to find what I want to do, because I obviously don't want to deliver for Amazon forever.
Well, I gotta tell you, and it's funny you say that my job is cool, because you know, I have been struggling a lot these past week with, you know, just kind of struggling in general with like trying to be happy where I'm at. You know, it always feels like something's missing or needs to be put in place first for me to do that. And I don't know, man, listening to you, and this actually happens a lot of times when I'm talking to people on the phone and kind of getting out of my own head, and, you know, hearing people in other situations and what their moods and attitudes are surrounding it. You seem like just a generally happy guy. You seem like you're not waiting for, like I get into this trap where I'm waiting for everything to be perfect to be happy. You know, I think a lot of people get like that. From talking to you, you seem like you just like life, man. Like, you're able to be happy and see the positive things in whatever's going on with you. So I think you're gonna be okay.
Dude, the best advice that I've heard is just to not have any expectations for the future, but to like set goals for what you want to happen. But if you set yourself up for expectations, you're just gonna be, you know, let down whenever you fail at anything. So it's just best to keep a level head about everything and not be let down by what happens in the end, but to set a goal to something positive, though, you know? And that's the best advice I've heard to help me stay positive in most situations, because being let down about anything that you expect to happen always makes you, I don't know, brings you down about stuff. So I try to not think about that stuff as much as I can.
I was gonna say you should take this whole thing to Jerry Springer, but he's dead.
Yeah, man. I fucking hate that shit, dude. I actually used to watch him a lot, which is kind of ironic.
What is it? I've never even seen this, or I don't even, if I had to in my head picture what this guy looks like, I would have no idea. But what is it, Maury? Is that where the whole where's the whole "you are not the father" thing? Is that Springer or is that Maury?
I think it's Murray or Maury. I don't know, but I feel like it is Jerry Springer, to be honest. That sounds like it is.
What's the 2023 version of Springer?
It's got to be something on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because they have that whole, that Chris Hansen guy, but he's like Skeet Hansen, you know what I'm talking about?
Who?
He kind of took over. You know who Skeet Hansen is? The child predator guy?
I know who Chris Hansen is. You said Skeet Hansen?
Yeah, this guy, he's like taking over Chris Hansen's like whole persona, but he like does the same thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's legit, but he like meets these dudes in Walmart. I think they're meeting like 12-year-old girls and bust them. It's pretty crazy, but he's like, he puts on this whole like persona. It's hilarious.
I'm trying to think where. Well, whatever. You can just, I don't know. You can just do the boring thing and find out whether or not you're the father, you know, in an email alone.
Yeah, man. Probably gonna be either an email or a text message of some sort. I wish I could go on Jerry Springer.
What's your name again, man?
Sure. Holdy.
Holdy, is there anything else you want to talk about or say to the people before we go?
I'm just thankful to be on your stream, man. I've been listening for a minute and always get a good laugh at work and whatnot. So I should appreciate you streaming, man. That's all I gotta say.
Thanks, man. I got to talking to you made me realize that I either need to look on the bright side of things more or just get high more often.
A little bit of both, bro. I'm telling you.
Take care, Holdy.
You too, man. Good night.
I really need we should put an ad for weed after this. Do they make are you allowed to advertise weed? I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, I've seen like billboards, but I don't think I've ever heard a podcast ad about weed. There's like Delta 9 and shit. Or maybe like Weed Maps. We need a weed sponsor. How do we get a weed sponsor? Maybe I should make my own strain. Does anyone know how I can make and distribute my own Therapy Gecko strain of cannabis? How do I do that? Do I need to like take one of my gecko gloves and bury it in the ground? Okay, we're gonna figure this out and get back to you guys.
Call from Hopeful.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. Oh my God. It's so nice talking to you again. I talked to you about 2 years ago.
Oh, we talked 2 years ago. What did we talk about?
So I was about to go into eating disorder rehab, and we were talking about how the meaning of life and life after death, and how I think you agreed with me that sometimes when people pass, it's like they're walking into the next room, and how we're all connected. I think that's our conversation pretty much.
Oh man, that sounds like the era of my life where I wore a ponytail.
Wait, what hairstyle do you have under the hat?
Ooh, only my family knows that. No, I don't know. I look like any. I have a regular boring white guy haircut.
Okay, that sounds nice.
How are you how are you doing since then? How was rehab?
It was interesting. Unfortunately, the mental health system here in Georgia is not that good. I have some interesting stories from my time in there, but luckily I've been in remission for 2 years now. So.
Oh, cool. Cool.
I'm not dealing with that anymore. Yeah.
Are you feeling, was it worth it to go?
Definitely. I think it's very important to ask for help when you need it. And luckily I had insurance because it was very expensive.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful I went. It was interesting, being somewhere where everyone around you is going through the exact same thing. Maybe different, everybody has different stories, but it's nice to be able to look around and know that you're not an outlier, like everybody's kind of in the same boat.
I was thinking about this recently. You know how do you think would you ever trust an AI doctor? Like, let's say that there was like a free open source like AI surgeon that you could go to for free to get free brain surgery. Would you do something like that?
I don't know about surgery, but it's funny that you say that because the other day my therapist canceled on me and I went to characterai.com and talked to a therapist, and the advice actually helped.
Dude, so I've done that before. I've used Chat GPT as a therapist, which is it's a little weird because the whole point of therapy is that it's supposed to be completely confidential, and this is like you're feeding your deepest, darkest life things into an algorithm that processes it and spits it out to millions of other people. But I think I don't know how anything works. I'm stupid, but I've used it too. It's really good, dude. It's incredibly objective, and it's good. It was good for you.
Yeah, it actually really helped. I was asking it about how to feel better after a friendship ending, right? And the advice was generally what other people were giving me too, which is the whole point of an AI, right? It tells you what other people have said before, but it was nice, weirdly comforting. And then once I was done, I felt like a weird mix of emotions. Like, wow, this was very human. Like, I don't know how to feel about this, but I think it might be a good option for people who can't afford therapy or don't really have friends to talk to. Maybe not for like genuine advice, but for like a little, like a rough patch. I need a quick pick me up.
Yeah, I've totally done the same thing. I've used it when a therapist has canceled on me or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if I'm sort of agnostic to it. Of like, is it good to have to like replace friendship with the computer?
I don't think replacing is a good idea, but definitely supplementing. So if you're at a point where you have literally zero people to talk to, it doesn't hurt to get some sort. It's just like, I tend to look up things that I'm going through, whether it be like on, Quora, or just Google to see what people have to say. It's the same, just more personalized, and you don't have to scroll through a bunch of blogs and Reddit. You just get it instantly, which I find it's kind of nice. Definitely not replacing friends. Human connections are important, but in a tough moment, it's kind of the same as contacting, like I used to contact the crisis text line. And I was getting the exact same advice as the AI was giving me. So it was kind of interesting to see what it had to say and how, it sounded very genuine and real. It was kind of scary.
Isn't that weird that, like, could you imagine a crazy future where you call like a suicide hotline or a crisis hotline and you can tell that it's like an AI voice answering everything?
I feel like that would that would definitely send me over the edge. Because
I was thinking that would either make me do it or just it would be so funny to me that I'd be like, all right, maybe life's worth living.
It would snap me out of it. Yeah.
But I like what you said. I like what you said about you're totally right. It is very similar to like typing your issue into Reddit and seeing if anyone had the same thing, or Quora, except although it's weird, right? Because when you look at the Reddit or the Quora answer, it's like that's one person, but the answer that Chat GPT or something like that is spitting out at you, it's like if they took a bunch of people and kind of combined their answer into an average and gave it to you. So it's, yeah, I like that comparison. It's very interesting to think about it like that.
Yeah, and I've contacted the crisis line too many times, and I realized that they go off of not a script, but kind of like talking points. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what the AI does too. You know, they can't really be too personal or put in much emotion when they're giving you advice. It's more like a quick calm down. Let's do some coping skills.
Right.
So
right.
The AI is the exact same thing. You know, what coping skills can you use right now? That's the same answer I would have gotten from the suicide hotline. Mm-hmm. It's not like I have there like genuinely listening and putting in their input or opinion. They're just trying to get me to calm down based off of their training. And if the AI has the same training, then they're essentially doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. Do you use AI for anything else?
Unfortunately, yes. So I don't use AI to do my paperwork if I have to write something, but I use it to revise it. So I'll write out some papers and then I'll go in and be like, hey, can you make this sound more professional? Kind of like Grammarly. Right. But yeah, I get to change the tone and I don't have to pay for it like Grammarly. So I use that sometimes. And when I first found Character AI, I did talk to Aaron from Attack on Titan.
Oh, wait, like you made... Like, there was an AI that I saw Attack on Titan a long time ago, but Aaron's a character in Attack on Titan, right?
Yeah, he's the main character. And
there was a robot that was trained to talk like him, and you had a conversation with it?
Yeah, Character AI is a website, and they are kind of like user-based, so people can go there and create an AI based off of a character or, like, a therapist. I've talked to Elon Musk, not really, but on there. Yeah, so it's kind of funny sometimes.
You know, my thing with that is that, if there was a robot that was trained to speak exactly like Obama,
yeah,
and I was talking to it, it wouldn't be believable because the real Obama, if I were trying to talk to him, he would be using every chance he can to get out of the conversation because he has about 1,000 things better to do than talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I were really talking to Obama, like, I would say, like, hey, Obama, how you doing? And he would be like, oh, thanks. All right, well, gotta go. Like, that's how my conversation with Obama would really be if I, like, saw him somewhere.
Yeah, it's not really, that's what I mean. It's not really personal. It's very, robotic. It's kind of what an idea. Like, I think it's best used for if you're trying to write a story.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people use it for like fan fictions, because it creates good dialogue. You know, if you're like a creative Brett, you can go in there and talk to one of your favorite characters. And it's not accurate, honestly, because Aaron probably would have killed me if I were to actually try to talk to him.
Right.
But not on the website, which is it's pretty cool. I honestly, I don't think it's a good thing to fully indulge yourself in it though, because it's very confusing. It seems like you're talking to a person, and if you do it every day, you'll feel like you actually have a relationship with this character.
I like what you said. You know, I don't know. This is why I'm agnostic towards it, because like I mean, humans have been using technology to solve their problems forever. But it's like, what about our personal problems? Like how do we use technology? I mean, actually, no. There's a lot of ways that we've used technology to solve, you know, our personal problems, like, you know, Tinder and, you know, people who make friends on online chat rooms. Well, some not like, you know, like Reddit, or, you know, if you make friends playing a video game, or on Discord or something like that. And, you know, I like what you said. Like it's kind of a supplementary thing. Like if you really need it, and, you know, it works, but you don't want to get too sucked into it, or else, you know, it gets. But then I don't know. I also feel like if you're happy, you're happy. Like if there's some guy and he's like, I have an AI girlfriend, we're going to France next week, I'm the happiest I've ever been. Who am I to argue with that guy?
It reminds me of the movie Her. I'm not sure if you know that movie.
Yeah, I do. It's funny. That came out like, I mean, that was what, 2017 or something like that. That was way before all this stuff went crazy. Yeah,
and in the movie, he was pretty happy, you know, for a while, until, you know, the ending happened. But like you said, if you're happy, you're happy. I don't like to put my opinion on people's lives and what they choose to do. But sometimes if you have someone who's really mentally struggling and seeking connection, I think it's best to use AI to find resources to find other people, right? Like, hey, ChatGPT, what community gatherings are in my area?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. I like that.
You know, like, how do I make friends, or how do I increase my confidence? You know, because sometimes
like a coach instead of a friend.
Yeah, you know, but if, like, you really need it, like I said, my therapist canceled on me. I really needed advice in that moment. It's definitely a good supplement. I mean, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, it really is a supplement, but I personally, in my own life, will not be using it regularly.
I want to ask you this before we go. I have called a crisis line once, and the person was actually really, really nice. But I've heard a lot of stories of people doing it, and like the person on the other line being a dick. I read this one story on Reddit where a person called the crisis line, and the person called and was like, "Hello," and then the person calling was like, "Hey, I kind of, you know, I'm feeling a little bit you know, sad," and then the person on the line was like, "Okay," you know what I mean? Like they were just jerks. But then the person writing the story on Reddit, they said like it was so funny, just the situation of like calling a crisis hotline and the person being a dick. Like it was so funny that it kind of snapped them out of it. But all that is to say, have you ever called a hotline like this and the person's just been an asshole?
Yeah, so there's a couple hotlines. This National Suicide Hotline. There's like hotlines per state. I used to call the Georgia crisis line, and they have a text line. I prefer to text because of what you said. Sometimes people can be kind of impatient on the phone and they don't really give you advice. They just try to see whether they have to call the cops or not. And I've had really sweet people, and also people who you can tell they're just reading something and not really paying attention. But yeah, sometimes I've been about to call the line. I've realized, you know, I should probably just calm down. Because once they pick up, I'm like, oh man, this is kind of cringe.
Yeah. I know. I see that too. You're like, because all it takes is like, because you're in your own, because when you're freaking out, I mean, you're like alone in your own, at least this is for me, you're like alone in your own head, you have no outside feedback, and the second like there's a little crack in your dam, and there's another person there, and they're like, so what's going on? And you're like, and you try to explain it to another person, you're like, oh, okay, I'm actually fine.
Yeah, that's usually why I would text, because halfway through I'm okay now,
Right,
and
halfway through
I don't
writing
have
a
to
text.
awkwardly. Yeah, I don't have to awkwardly end the conversation. I just stop texting back, you know. But I've had that happen before. I've gotten to the hospital and I'm like, okay, can I go home now? But I still have to do the whole intake. But yeah, I think that's why sometimes AI can be a bit, you know, helpful, because I tend to get in my head, and having an outside source tell me, hey, what's going on, it kind of brings me back out of it. So yeah, it's interesting.
What's your name again?
My name's Opal.
Opal. Well, Opal, 2 years from now, what's going to happen is you're going to call back, and I'm just going to have an AI Gecko bot running the lines.
I don't know. I really appreciate like you know, I don't think it would be the same. Your energy is very nice. I really appreciate you being behind the mic.
Well, thanks, Opal. But we'll see. If I could get it to be really good, if I could, like, because I bet I could just talk to it. I could rant. I could rant into a microphone for 20 hours, and then it could probably reproduce something.
Would you be able to program your silences? You know, after someone says something kind of crazy, you just kind of go quiet. You think you could program that, or would it just talk back immediately?
If anyone knows how to make an AI... All right, so there's all these people out there who know how to make an AI talk, right? If anyone out there knows how to make an AI not talk, send me an email.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you very much, Opal. I appreciate you coming on and talking. I'm very stoked. Thanks for continuing to listen to this thing for 2 years. I appreciate. I'm glad that you haven't gotten sick of it yet. Is there anything else you want to say to the people at the computer before we go?
No, just to you. I appreciate all you do. You know, you've inspired me to go out and talk to people more and listen to their stories, and it's helped me make a lot of really cool connections. So thank you for being you, man. Keep doing it.
Fuck yeah. Thank you, Opal. Congrats on the rehabilitation. You sound like you're doing better, at least from talking to you for these past 10, 20 minutes. And I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. I'll see you in 2 years.
Bye, Opal.
Bye.
I am Geckbot.
Call from
Kyle. Yo.
Hi, what's your name?
Hey, my name's Kyle, man.
Kyle, what's going on?
Not much. I just got home. I've been trying to get in touch with you for a while now, man. I've tried on and off for almost a couple of years. I just had bad luck getting on, but we're here now, and it's great to talk to you, man.
Yeah, man, good to talk to you too. I have to know, over these couple of years you've been trying to reach me, is there anything in particular you've been trying to reach me about?
I mean, I kind of just wanted to like talk about life and shit. Like, so my whole thing is like I'm a saxophone player, and like I drive around the Midwest a lot, and I do like a lot of gigs, and I'm trying to sort of like be entrepreneurial, and like, you know, I'm making an album next week and all this stuff, and
cool.
You know, I just kind of wanted to like compare and contrast our lives a little bit, man, because I know, you know, you've been all over the world, and that's super admirable.
What aspect of our lives? Is there a particular aspect of our lives you wanted to compare or contrast about? Like, is there, I guess, a thing with that you're thinking about?
Well, you know, I hear all your crazy stories of being on the road and meeting, you know, different people, you know, and I do that as well, but just definitely on a smaller scale, since that, you know, my travels right now are only regional. You know, I've only left the country for a gig once. So, you know, and I've met some characters, you know, I do a lot of these like destination weddings and shit where I'm like, you know, I'm basically expensive furniture, you know, and so people are like asking me where the bathroom is and shit like that, you know. So it's kind of interesting just kind of being a fly on the wall for all these events where, you know, you're like, you know, you're running the show.
You ever get into any like eyes wide shut shit where you're playing saxophone with a blindfold while people are fucking around you?
No, but I've been playing on the dance floor once, and there's this woman who's like, she started trying to dance on me while I'm playing, and you know, like I'm in like work mode, you know, like everyone's like drunk and all this stuff, and I'm just kind of like, man, like I'm just trying to play, get away from me.
Was she like twerking on you?
Trying to, but you know, I have a piece of metal in front of me, so I'm like, what are you doing?
Do you like your life? Are you happy? Are you excited? Do you feel good? Is your body temperature at a normal place?
I have streaks, you know. I have when the phone's ringing and like, you know, things are happening, you know, I feel content. You know, I think my biggest issue is that I invest my happiness in my success.
Oh.
You know, like, yeah, that's an issue for sure. In that, you know, I feel like I'm happiest when I'm the busiest, you know, because I've definitely been the type of person to, you know, when the going gets tough and I'm like, you know, feeling down and stuff, I'm like, all right, I just need to like, you know, put up and, you know, work my dick off and then forget that I have some bullshit going on.
Yeah, let's compare and contrast on that. I was thinking about that. I've been thinking about that with myself a lot, you know, because, you know, my Gecko career has had its peaks and valleys, and there's been times where, like, I'm on Instagram after I just posted something being like, you know, is this going to get as many likes as it used to? And, you know, you're tracking shit like that. And it's such a, you know, when I look at it from an objective point of view, it is just such an awful way to live. It is. And I've been living like that and continue to live like that. I think I get better with it as time goes on, and as I develop a better relationship with it. It sucks though. It also, you know what else also sucks, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to describe this well, but you know, I'm aware of this issue of like you know, the tying of happiness to success, and I really don't like it because I really don't want my success. I really don't want my happiness to be tied to something that is kind of debatably out of my control. And so and also just it's something that's outside of me, you know. So like if I have a live show that goes really well, or a clip that's doing really well, or my podcast is on the charts or something like that, and I feel myself get happy about it, that actually pisses me off. So like I don't get fully happy about it, because I'll get happy about it and then I'll get sad that I'm happy about this thing that's out of my control. Like my brain will get happy and I'll like hit my brain with a newspaper and be like, that's not what's gonna make us happy. We're gonna go sit on the sands naked and think, and that's gonna make us happy. You know, so I get into that whole thing. I don't know if that's ever happened to you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a vicious cycle for sure. You know, it's like, you know, I feel like, you know, we're programmed like that in this day and age. I mean, especially you mentioned with the whole Instagram thing, man, you know, I feel like I'm trying to get my feet off the ground and like, you know, draw some awareness. And, you know, whenever I post like maybe a good example of it is like, you know, I post videos of me playing, you know, semi-regularly. I try not to do it too much to kind of not like, you know, sort of to not dilute my presence or whatever. But, you know, if I like post a clip of me playing and it's like, oh, it didn't get as many likes as I wanted, you know, I'll be so salty about it. I'm like, man, I suck at what I do. I need to, you know, just like stop, you know. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like as an entertainer, like I get like imposter syndrome a lot. You know, every time I try to create something and it doesn't go well, I'm just like, man, maybe like accounting isn't the worst idea in the world. You know?
Yeah. No, I get like that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the other side of that, I made one video, oh God, maybe in March, and it got like the most likes I ever got. And for me, that was like, I think 350 likes. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so cool. Like, and it was like a video of me playing like somebody else's solo. I was just like, it was something I was practicing, and I'm like, man, like, why are you getting hype over a video of you playing someone else's shit? Like, I want the attention to be on like, my own like creative creations.
Right. Right. That's what you just said. I want the attention to be on my own creative creations. It's like that's where you want to be. Where you want to be, I think, is like you want to just be about the fucking work of what you're doing. That's the happiest you can be. Is me in the bliss of having this conversation with you right now, you in the bliss of playing your saxophone. That's where we should be, is just in the fucking work. The thing that we're doing is enough. If we're lucky enough to make enough money doing it that we don't have to do anything else, that's fantastic. Even if not, we're lucky enough to get to be alive to do it. Like, just being about the work, I think is where I want to be at, but and some days I'm there. Yeah.
For a second?
Please.
I think going along with that point, one of the beautiful things about what a good comparison moment about what you and me both do is we're fortunate to work on the lighter side of society. You know what I mean? We're not like, we're not out there like fighting wars or like performing life-saving surgeries, but something I've wrestled with and come to peace with is like there is still equal importance for what we contribute to society, as like, you're talking to the people, you're a man of the people, and I'm trying to communicate to the people equally, just in a different medium and a different message,
I don't align with you on that. I'm sorry.
Why is that?
Well, because I'm happy with what I do, and I don't think I've gotten to the place where I can sit with myself and really say and understand and take in, like, I help people, because I have a lot of imposter syndrome, like we've talked about. But enough people I get enough messages and emails and have met enough people who tell me that I have helped them, that I can go, okay, I've this podcast has hopefully been some positive impact of something. But it's not, but I don't know if I would say it's as important as like, I don't know, being a doctor or something like that. But I don't think it has to be. I don't think it has to be. It can just be what it is. It doesn't have to exist in comparison to other things. That's what I mean. I didn't mean to you know what yes anding is? I didn't mean to know
Yes.
but you. I didn't mean to know but you.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, and I could have worded that better. So, no, that totally makes sense, man. It's just kind of like finding your sort of pocket. I don't want to say finding your place, because that almost sounds like a little derogatory. But I think especially with what you've done and where you've come from and having your background in stand-up is just like, man, you've really like carved out a path for yourself, and you've carved out a place for yourself in the community of streamers and the community of people who are like comedians. I had to drive back from, I did 21 hours in the car this weekend, and I listened to a lot of your episodes. I've listened to every episode.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm very picky about podcasts, and I just like, I don't want to go on a whole dick sucking thing, but I just appreciate that, like, your shtick of like being the Gecko is so like apparent that I feel like you do such a great job of like, you're like, okay, I'm a Gecko. Now let's talk about some real shit, you know? And that's super dope. And I appreciate the sort of like, you know, organic nature of that and the sort of like place that comes from. But anyways, man, fuck, I lost my train of thought about, there was something that I listened to from a recent episode last night that really resonated with me. Oh, fuck.
Do you remember what it was?
What jog my memory, man. What
Oh God! You know what is funny is by the way, thank you for all those kind words. Thank you for all that kind sucking. I have cummed everywhere. I you know what is funny is I'll see people quote me like on Discord or on Twitter or something, and I always look at the quotes and I'm like, fuck, did I say that?
You know, well, you know, kind of get into that flow state, and you know, you're just like
exactly,
literally.
Okay, that like, okay, just bars. You know, to take it back, the bro, it's the flow state. I'm sure you're familiar with the flow state. I'm sure you get into it a lot when you're playing the saxophone. It's like, you know, forget about the likes on Instagram and the, you know, worrying about money or any of these other things. It's like the fucking flow state. That's what, you know. That's what feels so fucking good afterwards, because that's something that nobody can take away from you. You know, that's just you in your element. That's that movie Soul.
I've never watched Soul, but
you've never watched, dude. Fuck you. You've never watched Soul. You're a saxophone player. You gotta watch Soul.
I know, man. The saxophone player on it is a badass, Tia Fuller. She did like the saxophone playing for the movie, and the character is loosely based on her, so shout out Tia Fuller. She's a badass. How do you know
the person that the cartoon character in Soul is based off of, but you've never seen the movie?
That's the thing that sucks about, you know, kind of like being so like, I guess so deep in like the intricacies of the industry, is that like sometimes you forget to zoom out enough to like see the big picture, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, after, like, I think a good example of that is, like, you know, having to, like, I've studied so much music that, like, going back and trying to listen to it for leisure has gotten harder over the years.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you still like what you're doing?
Oh, I love it, man.
That's great.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to like be doing this. You know, it's hard. You know, like I said, like this weekend was really hard on me. You know, and I'm also I'm doing my doctorate right now in jazz. So it's just like, you know, I go to school on the weekdays and then I'm like just traveling on the weekends. You know, I feel like I'm conflating myself a little bit. You know, it's just like I'm just trying to go play gigs and collect the money and then go to school so I can, you know, be a professor when I graduate, and then do the jazz full time, do the saxophone full time.
You know, by the way, you know, man, see, I wish you watched Soul, because I actually think this is what Soul is about. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen the movie in 2 years, but it's like about it's kind of about that whole like journey versus destination, flow state versus success thing. Because I'm gonna spoil. Can I spoil the movie for you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this is my recollection of how the movie goes. Is there's this fucking guy, and he plays the music, and he like really wants this job in this like quartet or some shit like that. He really wants this job, this gig, right? This gig represents like great success for him. And eventually he gets the gig, but it doesn't really hit him. You know, it doesn't really provide him with all the juicy goodness he thought it would be. And then
not all the happy chemicals.
Right. And then he learns that all the happy chemicals are found in that flow state and not in success. So, you know, you should watch the movie. I think it's about what we're talking about.
Yeah, that sounds very relevant. And that's dope, man. That's and that's so relatable, you know. It's
Someone's
just
gonna
like, you know, you
gonna
get-
comment on this and be like, "That's Monsters Inc." You dumbass. I don't remember the movie that well, but yeah.
Nah, man, it's The Hangover.
What's your name again?
Kyle.
Kyle. Kyle, I want to let you plug. What's your goddamn jazz Instagram?
So my first and my last name are in the handle. Do you think that's a bad idea to plug, or?
That's all you. It's up to you.
Fuck it. It's Kyle Brooks saxophone.
Kyle Brooks saxophone. Okay, I'll give you a check out. What's your? Do you have like a pinned reel of your? That was a weird thing to say. I'll give you a check out. I was debating between. I'll give you a listen and I'll check you out. Do you have a pinned? What's your favorite clip of? Do you do covers and stuff?
I do some covers. There's the one reel I was talking about. I think it's like my second or third reel in is of me playing a solo that did pretty well, but it was someone else's solo. I write, like, I compose music, and I got a show coming up a week from today in Chicago. That's where I'm from. And then I'm trying to, get some attention for that, because the next day I'm going in and I'm going into the studio and cutting my debut record.
Dude, if anybody comes to this Chicago show and they come up to you and they're like, "Yeah, I found out about this from the Gecko," you gotta let me know, because that'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. Well, if anyone wants to come, let me know. I'll buy you a drink.
Kyle,
As long as I'm not buying too many drinks.
It was good talking to you, man. Is there? I feel like this was this was a good compare and contrast and a good talking about life. I feel like, we achieved the goals of this conversation, and I felt as though I was in the flow state as I was having it. I'm not bullshitting you. That is a true feeling that I have.
Likewise, man. I feel the same way.
Is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
Live fast, smoke grass, and eat ass.
Kyle Brooks saxophone, folks. Go check him out. Thanks for calling, Kyle.
Appreciate you, man. Be safe out there.
Also, watch Up. In fact, watch Up before... Wait, no, not Up. Watch Coco. Yeah, watch Coco before Soul. Watch Coco, then Up, then Soul. I'm going to do that tonight. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go eat something instead. Hello, folks. It's Lyle here. That's the end of this episode. But get this. I'm releasing a bonus episode this week. That's right, an entire extra hour of the podcast that you can listen to by becoming a premium member of Therapy Gecko over at therapygecko.supercast.com. Supercast subscribers get access to bonus episodes. They get a completely ad-free podcast feed of the regular show. They get recordings from my live shows, members-only streams, and they help support my ability to continue doing this podcast. So here's a clip from this week's members-only bonus episode.
I like the way it feels to go out and scare somebody.
Why does that sound appealing to you?
So
Tell me
I
more
work in a
about
haunted
that.
house. Me and some of the other scare actors were talking about like stuff we do in our scenes to mess with people. And I brought up that I really liked chasing people down and cornering them. And one of the other scare actors were like, that sounds questionable. If I catch people like trying to get through quick so they don't get scared, that's when I like to chase them down.
I was actually
And I'm-
just at a haunted house, and I was doing that. I was like running fast through the thing so that people couldn't scare me. But I knew that it made them want to scare me more.
If you'd like, I could give you some advice to make yourself less of a target.
Yeah, give us some advice on how you can be less of a target at a haunted house. If you want to hear this full conversation, you can sign up to become a premium member at therapygecko.supercast.com or find the link in the episode description. That's therapygecko.supercast.com. All right, I have nothing else to say.
Therapy Gecko's on the line, taking your phone calls every night. Therapy Gecko's doing it right, he's teaching you how to live your life, but he's not